Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Meditate for the Absolute Beginner. Have you no previous experience with meditation? You're in exactly the right place. We're going to look into some beautiful, beautiful things today. My name is Dave Das. I lived for 12 years in India running or helping to run different meditation centers. But today we're going to bring it down to the absolute basics. We're going to look at why would you meditate? What are some simple and effective meditation methodologies? We're going to look at a few problems, common problems in meditation, and then we're going to have a short meditative experience together. Sometimes like to just tell people, even 5 minutes a day of meditation can have a profound effect on your life. And think about it, it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes is like how long it takes to brush your teeth. But in this case, it's taking the opportunity to learn how to consciously rest, how to consciously relax. But most of us today have quite a bit of stress in our lives, and we don't always have the opportunity to rest into calmness. When we develop that ability to rest into calmness and into peace as a habit, it's like a muscle that we're beginning to use, and we develop strength in that muscle. Suddenly we find we're in situations where before we might have been very agitated, and we feel, hey, you know what? Like, this is absolutely fine. So working with being able to rest and be calm and bring yourself into a calm and peaceful state on command is a tremendous power to have as a human being. One of my friends, someone asked him, what is your superpower? And he was a very beautiful meditator. He said, my superpower is that I'm absolutely calm and centered in the heart under all conditions. And I felt, wow, it is a profound superpower to have, and he developed that superpower by the practice of daily meditation, just coming into deep rest, deep rejuvenation of our body and our mind. So the key to how to bring us into a resting state is actually the breath. We've been kind of probably taught that we don't really have that much control over what happens in our nervous system, but what happens in our nervous system affects our breath, and so in turn, what happens in our breath affects our nervous system. And in fact, actors know about this. Actors, I was told by one of our students that she uses the breath as an actor to get into an emotional state, and then she can evoke that emotional state. So the same thing is kind of true in reverse. You can control the breath, bring yourself into this resting, calm state, using the breath as the way to suggest to your body this deep state of relaxation and peace. Now, the truth is, all things in nature, and even man-made, need rest. We think of that mostly as coming in sleep, but imagine if during those moments in the day when things seem a little crazy and the winds of change are blowing, if you could just rest into the heart, really, really, really let the whole system take rest. What a powerful, effective force that would be in your life. Just today on a Zoom call with some of our students from our 200-hour yoga teacher training, a woman was saying she had something happen in her life, and she was saying she could see all the same emotions come up that used to come up. She was just, oh my gosh, oh no, this is terrible. There's this feeling of anxiety. There's this feeling of, sadness. There's this feeling. But she said somehow she could just watch them. She was in this tranquil state, and, the feelings were still there, but somehow she could move through it and experience it in a different way. And that's from learning to consciously work with your nervous system. So there's definitely a benefit there's profound benefit in a small, regular, daily meditation practice, or even just dipping in once in a while can also be extremely helpful. But then there's another aspect of meditation, which is clarity of thought. Actually, most people, their thinking is just kind of constant. It's constantly moving, and they're constantly thinking. And in that way, you could almost imagine it's like a desk, and the desk is just cluttered with all of the different thoughts. There's just thoughts all over the desk. The desk is a bit of a mess, and then it's like, oh, where are my thoughts on this issue? Oh gosh, I don't even know. There's just stuff everywhere. Versus when you meditate, you relax into the heart, there comes some stillness in the mind, and then many times actually that can improve our thinking capacity. Many times people come and say, the most profound thoughts that I have come in meditation. If that's the case for you, I say keep a journal and a pencil by your meditation spot. Take a moment, write down the thought, then leave it to the side, go back to your meditation. Because meditation, the aim of meditation is not having clear thought. It's more of like a side effect of meditation. And in fact, the aim of meditation would be more to really rest into the peace of our being and teach our nervous system how to relax in a chaotic, stormy life, which can sometimes be part of the way that life works. So the benefits of meditation are many, but before we dive more into that, maybe we can dive into some common methodologies. There's basically two methodologies that are at the heart of meditation. One is concentration, and one is the breath. And there are probably thousands of different approaches to meditation, different techniques of meditation, but most of them come down in the end to this very simple thing of being able to concentrate on one thing at a time. That's something that's challenging for us because we have lots of input coming from our phones and from life. But being able to really exclude and really concentrate. And then, as I mentioned before, the movement of the breath can be an extremely powerful tool for us in meditation. In fact, in yoga, we would say that some of those things are pranayama. When we're actually controlling the breath, we're talking about controlling the movement of the breath. That's actually pranayama. Because in meditation, which is more like concentration, the breath begins to get very still. So when the breath is still, the mind is still. Oh, I'm relaxed. I'm just here. I don't have to do anything. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just present. And then the breath is very quiet. And of course, we consciously use this in our life. If we want to increase concentration, if we're threading a needle, we hold our breath, then we thread the needle. So we know that the movement of the breath, how much the breath is moving, actually affects our concentration. Sometimes in meditation, we consciously use deep breathing as a kind of introductory thing, just to clear the system, to get the energy moving. But in the deeper state of meditation, the breath is moving very little. There's very little movement of the breath, and therefore very little movement of the mind. And then we have the real opportunity to rejuvenate, to restore, to teach our nervous system to relax on command. So those are the two main methodologies of meditation. And I also want to mention two of the most common problems, because that's also something that happens for people. So two of the most common problems in meditation, one is sleepiness. This one I say don't really worry too much about. Even if you fall asleep when you meditate, eventually you'll teach yourself not to fall asleep. I sometimes say it's like you walk up to a cliff and then accidentally you fall off. And you walk up to a cliff and accidentally you fall off. But then one day you walk up to the cliff, you don't fall off, and wow, it's so amazingly beautiful and powerful. And then you learn, where's that point? Where's the tipping point? One more thing that can help in terms of sleepiness is gently lifting the eyes. That's called chanchari mudra in yoga. It just means like look up at maybe 45-degree angle, then close your eyes. And this gentle lift of the gaze upward can help keep you awake, in fact. When you sleep, you may not notice it, but when you actually fall into sleep at night, you fall. You literally, your eyes fall into sleep. And some of us know that from sleeping while sitting. If you sleep while sitting, it's the, and the eyes go down and the head goes down and up, and wakefulness, concentration. So gently lifting the eyes up can be something that can help if you struggle with sleepiness. I should mention also that heating pranayama helps. We cover this elsewhere, so subscribe to our channel. Stay with us if you're more interested in other methodologies to combat sleepiness in meditation. And then the second most common problem in meditation is overactiveness of the mind. In fact, that's not actually usually the case. What usually happens is people come and they say, "Oh my gosh, I'm thinking more than I ever thought before." No. You're noticing the fact that you're thinking more than you ever have before. Most people, they're going through life, they're just constantly having thoughts. Thoughts are constantly moving. We take a moment, we withdraw, and then suddenly we realize, wow, it's really noisy up there. But in fact, as you meditate more, that noise will become less and less, especially if you're consciously working with the breath and letting the breath settle down and working also on your concentration. So those are the two most common problems for meditation, and a little bit about how to work with them, how to overcome them. And let's now go into a meditation. For your meditation, you can choose any kind of seat that you want. If you're seated on a chair, that's perfectly fine. If you are on a chair, get your back away from the back of the chair. Ideally, get your feet onto the floor so that you're not tempted to move or shift or play, because one of the real keys to meditation is stillness. Being able to be still and relaxed and consciously relaxed in your body. So in this short meditation, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the senses from the outside toward the inside, and then we're going to go through the breath, controlling the breath, and then just observing the breath. And that will be the full experience that we have today. So come into a nice straight seated posture. First, take a moment just to ground your sit bones into the ground. Really feel the sit bones against the chair or against the cushion or whatever you're sitting on. Take a moment, really feel the base. Feel supported at the base of the spine. And then lengthening all the way up through the spine, up to the crown of the head. Gently tucking the chin in and back, because we want to avoid lifting the chin up toward the sky as we meditate. Taking a moment to scan the body. Close the eyes if it feels comfortable. Just see that there's no tension in the body, that the face is relaxed, the shoulders relaxed, the arms relaxed, the belly also relaxed. Sometimes we even hold tension in our belly. And of course the legs and the feet. Everything completely, totally relaxed. And just arriving into this space. A transition into rest, into a period of rejuvenation for yourself, self-discovery. And then we can start our journey today by just taking a moment to really hear. What sounds are there in your field? What can you hear? Maybe very far off there's some faint sound, or maybe there's louder sounds all around. Just take a moment and observe the sound. Hearing is such an amazing sense. How often we take it for granted. really deeply hear everything in your environment. And then let's go inside, into the inner realm, into feeling. And just scan the body from the crown all the way down to the feet, and just feeling what's happening. Maybe you can feel the subtle movement of air in the breath, or the feeling of the wind against your skin, or your clothing gently touching. Just whatever sensations are there, you're just observing and seeing what's there. And if you find that there's tension in the body, actively relax. Because meditation is so much easier when the body's relaxed, the mind relaxed. And then let's move into a full few deep breaths. Nice, starting all the way from the belly. Deep breath in. Slow and full, and when you get to the top, deep breath out. And at your own pace, nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Mostly we use only a fraction of our lungs, so really open up the lung on an inhale and let everything go on an exhale. 1 or 2 more breaths. Inspiration, drawing energy in, and exhalation, letting everything go. And 1 more time. And at the end of your next exhalation, just letting the breath return back to normal, but observing the quality of the breath. Where is it moving? How is it moving? Really feeling every nuance. Maybe there's movement in the muscles of the abdomen. Maybe there's a very gentle sensation of the air as it comes through the nasal passage. Whatever is happening, just observe. And this is your moment. You can center yourself in the heart if that feels right, or just stay with this awareness of every feeling, every nuance of the breath as it's moving. And deeply rest there. Silence is absolutely natural to us as human beings, so you're just returning to something natural. Somewhere that you've been before. And a moment of just silent reverence and rest. And when you're ready, if you like, you can bring your hands up to heart center, just taking a moment of gratitude for the ability to practice, for the beauty of your nervous system, your physical body, your mind, for health and vitality, and for life. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And with full gratitude in my heart, I just say thank you for joining us on the adventure of meditation. It's our joy, it's our privilege to share with you. If you like what we're sharing, hit subscribe below, and thank you so much for taking the time to investigate something of this beautiful science called meditation.